Welcome everyone to the latest report for the channel. We are back with another Warhammer 40k battle report. This is somewhat of a replay of my last battle report, taking on a Death Guard army with my Doomhammer Space Marines. Basically set up a game with the same opponent. Neither one of us planned in advance what we were going to be bringing or what we were going to be taking, and he just sort of grabbed his Death Guard because they were handy. I grabbed my Doomhammers because they were, again, handy and by the door, basically. And so we met up for a game. I pulled out a 1,500 point list long before he ever got there, and just sort of said whatever he plays is fine. When he got there, he had almost a 1,500 point list in mind. So we just said, okay, we'll play 1,500 points basically, and we decided to do another Maelstrom mission. So we're doing cleanse and capture this time. We actually rolled. It was funny. We rolled for the mission, and we got the same one we played last time 2 times in a row until I could finally roll something other than a 5. It really wanted us to play that same mission again. Don't know why. So anyways, we're getting a little bit of a different mission here with the cleanse and capture. Let's see here. So his list, he actually ended up with 1,541 points instead of being a flat 1,500. My list is exactly 1,500, but I said it doesn't matter. I don't really care. We're just playing a fun game, and it's Maelstrom. It's crazy and weird, and to be honest, if you're over on the points, that may actually work against you, because we all know how the old ones feel about when these sorts of things, and we'll see if the dice and the cards and all that stuff end up going against him because he's 41 points over. He's basically getting effectively a free Nurgling unit out of this in order to get his 2 battalions on the board. So you can see here he's got 2 battalions, Mortarion, Chaos Sorcerer. I think the Sorcerer had a jump pack, but don't quote me on that. And I'm pretty sure he had a bolt pistol and a 4-sword. I know he's got warp time, and he's got another power. It never came up in the game. Let's see, he's got 3 Chaos Lords, which I found interesting. They all have bolt pistols and chain swords, so he's got that combination of Death Guard with a Chaos character, Chaos Lord. I'm not sure in this situation, though, that it's really points effective, especially because I don't think he needs one of those Lords. So maybe he could have used that points elsewhere. I don't know, though, what he could have done, though, that would have been different given the points for this game. 3 Nurgling units, which I think are really great objective grabbers. So that's pretty solid. 3 5-man Death Guard units. He doesn't have any plasma guns, though, in him, which I was kind of surprised by. And then he got a Plague Crawler, and he's trying to. I think he has one that's assembled, and he's getting another one, or he's gotten the other one but hasn't put it together yet. So he's trying this out to see whether he wants to get one or not, or maybe how much he wants the second one, is my understanding. So my list, where he's got a lot of command points, but I brought a lot of bodies. So you can see here, I brought a captain, a lieutenant, and an apothecary. The apothecary is, of course, an elite. And then I have just 10-man units. So I have 10 scouts with sniper rifles and camo cloaks. I got 2 10-man tactical marine squads to fill out my troops for my battalion. And you can see what they're armed with there. I went for a lot of plasma pistols throughout. So assault marines, I got 2 units of 10 there with some interesting combinations, I think, with the plasma pistols, power fist. I'm not big on the power fist, although admittedly in this game against Death Guard it might actually be really good. So I may have to. I was sort of poo-pooing the power fist. I may have to rethink how I feel about him, to be quite honest. And then the Devastator Marines, I wanted to try out the missile launchers. I've seen them obviously work well. If you've watched my other reports, I've played against a player who uses a 4 missile launcher squad frequently. I've had a 10-man Devastator squad with 4 missile launchers in it for a long time. I just never really used them that much because I always felt that there were other options I wanted to use instead. But this seems like an addition where they might be a really great choice, especially with the flak missile command option, or stratagem option, whatever it's called. And I wanted to try out plasma cannons and multi-meltas because I've got them, and I had them as alternate weapons in my tactical squads, but they may be pretty great in Devastator squads, so I'm giving them a shot here as well. For deployment, we rolled up and I placed the first objective. So the Death Guard player, he placed the last objective, which meant he rolled for deployment type, and he rolled a 6 for the Vanguard strike, and then he chose his table corner. And this is basically the board that we came up with. So you can see I tried to identify each of the various objectives. The first objective, I think I placed objective 2 there in the middle of the board. He placed objective 4 up on that industrial stack. It's up on the top shelf there on the gangplank. I think I then placed objective 5 over in this crater. He placed objective 3 on not the very top, but on that second floor where most of my Marines are located here in the front. And then I'm pretty sure I placed objective 6 back, and I think the arrow is actually pointing. It's basically in front of that bunker where one group of his Plague Guard or Plague Marines are located, and then he placed objective 1 back in the corner, and then he chose that back objective. So on the whole, he's got a really great setup for this, obviously, with most of the objectives either on his side of the table or very near his deployment zone, and then he was able to deploy the Nurglings on the 3 that were more or less in no man's land. So right off the bat, he's in a pretty strong position as far as objectives are concerned. The only thing I've got working for me really is that, yes, he's got the objectives, but 3 of them are being held by Nurgling units, so that's not ideal, obviously. He's very close to me on objective 5, and I can get to objective 4 with my assault squad pretty easily. So, and obviously I'm holding objective 3. So depending upon what we draw, it's not that bad for me, even though it doesn't look great, obviously. So this is objective 5 here. These Tyranid warriors are just base size representing Nurglings. This is objective 2 here in the middle, again being held by 3 Nurgling bases. And this is objective 4 up on the gangplank around that industrial site. And then this is his main line. So the Rhino is proxying one of the Plague Crawlers, and they've got, of course, the flame weapons with a 9-inch range, which are pretty nasty. He's got a 4-shot gun, and then he's got the Plague Mortar. So on the whole, they look like pretty decent weapons, but of course moving with these and firing them is going to make them somewhat less effective, if I understand the rules rightly. Again, I didn't pay much attention to him. He's was trying them out and doing what they do, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. The flamer weapons scare me, but the bloat drone seemed like to me at least, the better option early on, but I'll admit these things are tougher and have more wounds, so maybe they're better. I'm not sure. Let's see. So he's got 2 of those. The Rhino's proxying one of them. He's got Mortarion there in the middle of the picture. Obviously, there's the Sorcerer is right next to him, kind of in between him and that actual tank. Then he's got Death Guard, 2 units out there. Each one has a Chaos Lord next to them. This tower, the black one on the left, has a Death Guard unit in it and a Chaos Lord holding down objective 1. And it's just a reverse angle. You can see there the Chaos Lords are in the back behind the units. And these are the guys here in the tower. And so this is my deployment working back down my line here. So the scouts are up here on this industrial gangplank, walkway, whatever, to try to get some good lines of fire. Then here, this is half of one of the tactical squads. So it's got the sergeant with the plasma pistol and the power sword and the plasma gun, and then the tactical squad, the assault squad that has the lightning claws and the flamer are here. Sorry for the blurry pic, but this is the fire base. Most of these models don't really want to move, so this is half of each of the tactical squads with 4 guys and a laser cannon. The 4-man or 4-missile launcher Devastator squad. Half of the Devastator squad, I put the 2 plasma cannons sort of in the front there with their 3 buddies around them. The lieutenant is the guy, the multicolored weird looking dude on the left, and then the captain, you can't really see him, but he's on the bottom shelf here with those 2 other guys kind of tucked underneath. And so this is just showing the lieutenant's hanging out on objective 3. You can see the multi-meltas from the dev squad are with the sergeant and 2 guys down on the left there. And so they're down there in front, and then next to them is the other half of the tacticals, one of the other tactical squads. So that's got the plasma pistol, power sword, and the flamer. And then this is the other assault squad that has the power fist, plasma pistol, a second plasma pistol, and the flamer. So we go to determine first turn. I of course choose to go first. He fails to steal the initiative, and Doomhammers get to take the first turn. So trying to give a little more information on the summary here. So you can see the command points at the start. He's got 9 to my 6. I drew the secure objective 4, which is the one that the assault squad is very near, so that's great. I got defend objective 2, which he's sitting on in the middle, and I got honor your chapter. So I don't really think I'm going to pick up more than objective 4 on this one, because I'm not sure that I have range with any of my weapons on my characters unless I move, and I don't really think I want to do that. So honor your chapter may wait till later. Defend objective 2, probably not going to go for it all this early. I might get it if he lets me sort of, if he goes away from the center objective and lets me move on to it with my tactical squad or my assault squad later, that might work, but odds are he's going to bring Mortarion and a bunch of tanks right through that middle, so I'm probably not going to get it. But I do have a good shot here at First Blood, because First Blood, Slay the Warden, and the Line Breaker are also worth victory points. So we're gonna try to get secure objective 4 and First Blood. So I move up here. The assault squad's gonna try to kill this Nurgling unit. I've got the tactical squad moving up with, and I'm gonna try to use plasma. And because I'm salamanders is my chapter tactics I'm using, I'm far more willing to overcharge my plasma in order to get the bonus damage and try to cut through, especially in the case of the Nurglings. They don't get their feel no pain if it does more than 1 wound. So I'm thinking that's a good way to try to deal with these with my assault squads and my tactical squads. And these guys are just moving up in the center here. They're going to try to do something similar with the Nurglings there in the middle. And this squad jumps over here, and we just play this as ruins, so that's why they're on the different levels there, but I'm basically going to try to shoot them with plasma and then assault them and kill them and take objective 4. So shooting opens up. I don't have a psyker, obviously, so shooting opens up, and the sorcerer here goes down to sniper fire. And only this one squad. It was pretty crazy. I think all 5 of them hit. I had to use my salamander reroll on these guys to get a hit, and then I rolled and I got 2 6s and another wound. So I had 2 mortal wounds and 3 wounds, and he then failed all 3 of his saves. So I basically did 5 wounds to the guy with 1 5-man scout squad. I was floored, to be honest, and I'm pretty sure my opponent was also a little bit surprised. So not only did I get First Blood there, but I also removed his warp time, so Mortarion is going to have to move the long hard way instead of getting the free bonus 12-inch jump forward. So that's incredible. I was hoping maybe both scout units could kill that guy, but I didn't think it was going to happen. I certainly didn't expect one to do it. So way to go, scouts. With the sorcerer dead, these guys, the 5 guys on top of the tower here, take aim at this chaos sorcerer, and they do 2 wounds to him total. So I think I got another mortal wound, and he failed an armor save. So great job, scouts, all around. And then the shooting kind of starts to go sideways. My veteran sergeant here overcharges his plasma pistol, rolls a 1, re-rolls it, rolls a 1, kills himself. Oh well. So yeah, and then I think I did maybe 2 wounds with the bolters on the Nurgling, so oops. And then over here, this guy with a plasma pistol kills himself, basically doing exactly the same thing. I rolled the veteran sergeant first. They both overcharged. I rolled the veteran sergeant. He hit, no problem. Rolled this guy, rolled a 1, rolled it again, rolled a 1. Oh well. So it did a little bit of damage with the veteran sergeant, I think. And actually, maybe he even saved it with the veteran sergeant. That was the kind of a common theme throughout the game, was that I'd overcharge plasma, and I'd get it to hit, and he'd make his invul save. And I was like, well, great, never mind. Um, but between whatever shooting did go through, and the plasma pistol might have worked here, I was able to kill a base and put 2 wounds on another base. So I'm feeling quite confident that in the close combat I'll be able to take out this Nurgling squad. And I managed to get 2 damage on this squad with my bolters, so hooray. And over here, with between plasma and shooting from the squad and probably throwing a crack grenade, I was able, or frag, whichever. I think I threw crack grenades. I probably should have thrown more frag grenades actually. But anyways, was able to get 1 base dead and 1 base is down to 1 wound. So again, feeling really good about number 5 over here, clearing this squad out. And all of my anti-tank that could see Mortarion opened up on him, and we took off 8 wounds. He did pretty solid on his invul saves. Made, as you would expect, about half of them. And then there were a couple of really good rolls on the Feel No Pain, but I was rolling hot for damage. Every one that went through, I rolled either a 4, 5, or 6, so I didn't bother using any rerolls on the damage. So feeling pretty good there. Would like to see a few more wounds off of him, but I can't complain too much for turn 1. In close combat, this squad comes in and just wrecks face. I think I did like 8 wounds to this unit, and he didn't make a single save. So that was great. Good job. We've taken objective 4. Over here, this is the start of the combat. And this is after the combat. I only managed to do, I think, 3 wounds. I did consolidate these guys around and surround the Nurgling base, so he can't withdraw the base. And I realized that this is probably a reason to take assault squads in larger units, any kind of assault type unit in larger units, because right now the way it is, if you don't surround units and make it so they can't move away from you, it's possible for your guys to get in, and then obviously the opponent withdraws from combat and you get shot up. But if you can whittle them down, and as long as they can't fly, obviously, as long as they're like the Nurglings here, where they're an infantry unit, if they can't move away, you can't get shot. And that was something that when I first started looking at the game, was like, man, it just seems really bad for assault troops. And I think it is, especially if they're really small units. Like if you're taking 5-man or 7-man units, you might have trouble, but I think 10-man units, or if you're lucky enough to have even bigger assault units, those could be really good potentially in terms of getting into something, knocking it down to a manageable number, but not necessarily killing it, and then surrounding it and keeping yourself from getting shot, at least as possible, with the right targets, obviously. So that was an interesting lesson for me on this one. I hadn't really recognized the potential there until we were actually playing the game. So turn 1 recap for me, I was able to, again, secure objective 4 with the unit of Assault Marines on the left. I was able to get first blood for killing the Sorcerer, but also wiped out a unit of Nurgling, so either way, picked up 2 victory points there, so not a terrible start. I decided to discard Defend Objective 2 because, like I said, I figured Mortarion, especially now that he's taking damage, Mortarion and the tanks are going to just roll right through the middle there, so I'm probably never going to get to Objective 2. So we go to turn 1 for the Death Guard. Let's see. So neither one of us used any rerolls that turn. I think my opponent didn't really think about using a reroll on the saves. He was saving them for other things on Mortarion, or maybe didn't think that I would do much damage, or admittedly I think what happened was the ones that did damage were early in the shooting phase, and so he was sort of like, do I burn it now, or do I wait? Do I risk it or not? And then by the time I got done shooting, he hadn't used it, and there wasn't enough left that did any damage, so he was probably kicking himself for not using it earlier. But anyways, he draws just the worst possible combination of objectives for himself. He draws Defend Objective 3, which is the one that's in my tower of Marines with all the heavy weapons. So that's terrible. He draws Domination, which he's not going to get because, again, he's got to get Objective 3. And he draws Kingslayer, which is incredibly difficult to get because my captain, obviously, is sitting in my Tower of Power. So it's like the worst possible set of objectives for him under the circumstances. So with that in mind, he moves up here on his left, my right. He's trying to get towards this assault squad and maybe assault them with Mortarion or um, do some of them. And this is where the death of the sorcerer was huge, because if he still had that sorcerer, obviously he'd be able to cast warp time on Mortarion. And if warp time goes off, he moves up and then moves up again. He assaults these assault marines, wipes them out, and is all up in my uh, lines here, and is behind this building. Yeah, I'd be able to shoot at him with my units, but I'm pretty sure he's got the -1 to hit up, and yeah, he would be a whole lot closer. I'd have a whole lot less time before we started wrecking my fire base. So the death of the sorcerer was just big. And this is just a reverse angle shot on it. He moves this tank up. He's going to use his flamers and little shooting guns at these guys closer shooting. He's going to fire the mortar at my units in the tower. And the flamers, I think, killed 2 of these assault marines. Yes, that's what happened. And I think the mortar killed like one. I think it killed 1 bolter marine from the missile launcher squad. Let's see. So this tank moves up, and I think is going to. Yeah, it's got flamer range to the 4-man unit, and then it's going to fire its other guns at the tower. Uh, And yes, so you can see here what he did. And he wiped out the 4-man tactical squad with the flamers. And he killed 1 or 2 guys. Either he killed them, or that might have been Mortarion shooting, or that. No, sorry, I take that back. That was probably bolter fire from the Death Guard. Actually, now that I think about it, that's what happened. Yeah, Mortarion shot at them with his beam gun and his beam pistol and rolled a 1 to wound. So yeah, so you can see here, I've got him surrounded, and we're probably going to kill this Nurgling base in close combat. And we do. So that was pretty much it. He tried to assault with Mortarion and didn't roll anywhere near. He needed like a 11 or a 12 to get the charge off, and he rolled a 3, I think. So wasn't even worth the potential reroll at that point. His other units were too far away to do much of anything, so on the whole, not a great turn. So this is just a basic overview of things, the way they stand at the end of round 1. So the Death Guard did not pick up any objectives turn 1, which was massively, massively disappointing for them, but given what they drew, not at all unexpected. He discarded Defend Objective 3 for obvious reasons, and we move on to Doomhammer turn 2. So I draw 2 new objectives because I scored 1 and discarded 1. So I draw Defend Objective 3, which could not be any more perfect for me. And I also draw Lightning Strike, which is pretty solid. So that looks like 2 objectives there I can probably pick up. 1 this turn with the Lightning Strike. And I got to get it now because I think he's, except for that 1 unit and Chaos Lord way at the back that I'm not going to be able to get to with anything other than maybe 1 assault squad, he's about to leave his deployment zone. So I need to kill something, at least 1 thing, to pick up Lightning Strike this turn. I think he killed another. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he killed the veteran sergeant as well, and I just missed it in the photo. Because I know I moved this librarian up, or not librarian. I moved the apothecary up and resurrect the guy, the veteran sergeant. And in hindsight, I think this was probably a mistake, mainly because I think the apothecary would have been better for me. My idea was to use him to try to resurrect guys in the tactical squads, or in particular, I was thinking about the plasma cannons, because I was thinking about overcharging them and rolling dice with them, but then I'd have the apothecary there to resurrect them if they overheated and killed themselves. And I kind of forgot about it, and when I saw this, I was like, oh, I can move him up and I can get the bonus from the veteran sergeant signum to offset Mortarion. Mortarion's close, so anyway. This is what I did. It was probably a mistake in the long run. Over here, I move the assault squad up very aggressively because, again, I've got the lightning strike, and I'm thinking, okay, the scouts did so great first turn. I've got 2 scout units to try to kill that one chaos lord that's got 2 wounds remaining. So I should probably be able to pick it up there. But just in case, let's go ahead and move up this assault squad. There's a Death Guard unit and another Chaos Lord that are all in his deployment zone, and I could potentially use this assault squad to bog down his right flank even with a general charge and just swamp his line. So that's my thinking with them. Everybody else obviously is going to try to shoot Mortarion or other units as and when they can. So Scout Squad aiming down on that Chaos Lord. And there's just another reverse shot here of the Assault Squad coming after these guys over here. And this Assault Squad that claimed Objective 4 last turn moves onto this bunker, and they're going to come and try to take the Death Guard over here. And this is sort of a, well, just in case nothing goes wrong on the other side, I'm going to try to maybe kill this Death Guard unit with this Assault Squad. That's really unlikely, I know that. Even with the 2-man advantage and a Power Fist and a Plasma Pistol, odds are not in my favor against these guys. They're just so tough with the same armor and, well, being in cover, they get 2+ armor, 5+, feel no pain, plus toughness 5. Yeah, not looking great, but maybe we'll get lucky. And my sniper scouts almost come through. I actually killed him until he decided to use a command reroll and rerolled a failed armor save. So I got, I think, one. I can't remember if I got a mortal wound on him or not. I don't think I did. I think I actually just got a bunch of regular wounds, and he failed 2 of them and re-rolled 1 of them and made his save, is how that worked out. So he denied the sniper scouts the glory of killing that Chaos Lord. And like I said, yeah, the plasma cannon over here overheated and killed himself. I think it's funny to imagine him as having fallen off the cliff there, or the top of the building there, and died. And again, this is now why I'm sort of kicking myself for having moved the apothecary away, especially if the apothecary can't get back anytime soon. Over here, between overcharged plasma, bolt pistols, flamers, etc., we're able to take this one unit of Death Guard down to 1 guy. So I've got the Death Guard model that I just need to do 1 wound to. I've got that Chaos Lord on the other side, and because I've got jump packs, I can potentially get over there with a really good assault move. And I've got this other Chaos Lord here that's just sort of hanging out, so I'm probably ultimately going to assault most of the... I'm going to try to assault those 3, and then I'll bring the 5-man Death Guard squad or 4-man Death Guard squad, whatever it is there, into the fight as well with my pile-in moves. Was able to make the charge over here. I don't think I actually did any damage to them with my shooting. I might have killed a guy, but I don't think I did. And I lost a guy to his Overwatch, so that was somewhat upsetting. And then I was able to make the charge, obviously. So okay, we're into combat. Maybe with the Power Fist, we'll be able to do some damage over there. And I rolled really high for all these. I think the lowest charge I had at any point in this game was like a 9. It was pretty ridiculous, at least with the assault squads. Let me put it that way. With the assault squads, they were just gung-ho about getting into combat. So you can see I've got in over here, and I'm going to be able to get my lightning claws in against his lord that has 1 wound remaining, so I'm liking that. I'm going to be able to get multiple attacks on this 1 remaining Death Guard guy. So I think I've got a pretty good odds of killing one or the other of them. I'll probably get both, but at least one of them, and I'll be able to pick up the lightning strike. And sure enough, I'm able to bring in that other Death Guard unit. I was able to kill both the Chaos Lord and that 1 Death Guard, but at the same time I lost half the squad. I lost 5 Marines. I think 4 of them died in close combat, and then 1 ran away as a part of a failed morale check. So costly, but we got the victory point, and he's down to 4 Marines and a Chaos Lord over here against my 5 Marines. So, on the whole, I'll take it. So I only picked up the 1 lightning strike, and I chose to discard Honor Your Chapter because I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do any damage to his heroes with my heroes. Yeah, Mortarion's there, and I could possibly do some damage with the lieutenant or the sorry, captain's shooting attacks, but that's unlikely given how tough Mortarion is. So I just said, I'll just pitch it and get new ones. So we're going to Death Guard turn 2. And you can see the command point totals at this point. I probably spent I think I spent most of my I think I spent my points as rerolls on to hit or to wounds for various shooting attacks in that shooting attack, and then a close combat attack. I think mostly the power fist probably got rerolls when I rolled, and so I would roll to hit and I'd roll 2 2s. For instance, I could reroll one of them for being a salamander, but I had to use a command reroll to reroll the other one, and I really needed those to hit, especially against the Death Guard. So I think that's probably where those went for me. But I, again, drew, or sorry, not me, but my opponent drew probably one of the worst possible things he could have gotten, because he drew Psychological Warfare. And at this point, it's really, really tough for him, because the best chance for him to succeed at this one has already passed, with the big assault squads now being whittled down so much, it's unlikely he'll do enough damage that I'll fail. But it's possible. So again, the card's just not working for my opponent here. Morty flies up into the middle. He's going to smite and shoot and assault, and now my apothecary is really questioning his decisions in life. This tank moves up to flame the tactical squad. Smite goes off, takes these guys down. I don't remember what shooting this was. Probably a mortar off a tank kills an expendable Marine from one of the 5-man tactical squads. And that really was it. His other tank, so the tank that flamed the tactical squad, I don't think it did any damage. I think I made all my saves, surprisingly. First turn, the first time he shot the tanks, he rolled boxcars for the number of hits on the flamers against the assault Marines over on the far side of the board. And then after that, he didn't roll anything more than a 7, and he rolled a lot of 5s and 6s, a lot of 6s, I think, and so the damage went down pretty significantly. Mortarion assaults here, and we sort of talked about this, and I wasn't sure if this is being played right or not, but I basically said, and we sort of talked about it. I was like, look, as long as he finishes within an inch, and if the wings now count for being able to see and shoot at stuff, and the people at this particular store, I know, play the model is the model, including the wings, including the the ends of the sword or the tip of the spear or whatever it is they're carrying, all counts as the model. Which, all right, I mean, yes, it is technically the model, but I as someone who has a lot of winged monsters that have big splayed out wings like this, I don't like that. I don't like being able to shoot from it. I don't like being able to be shot because of it. That's just me. But anyways, so we basically said, yeah, sure, Mortarion can count as being within an inch of the scouts because his wings will be within an inch, and he dives within an inch of the apothecary. So he goes to town on both, utterly destroys them both. But as you can see here, so in my turn, I was able to take Mortarion from 10 wounds down to 5. And then when he assaulted the scouts, not only did I get 2 hits, but I got a 6 to wound. So I did a mortal wound to him, which he did not ignore, and he failed his armor save on the regular wound part of that and did not ignore it. So he ended up taking 2 wounds from a single scout bullet, which just cracked me up. I love that. Way to go, scouts. They are so pulling their weight in this game. But the apothecary's dead. The center of my lines here, these buffer units, if you will, are all dead now. But Mortarion is sitting right out in the open in front of my tower of death and doom. So that's about as good as I can get with 3 wounds remaining on him. Over here, the Chaos Lord, I think, drops a guy, and the Plague Marines drop a Assault Marine, and I don't think I did any damage with my attacks here. After Mortarion attacked, I used my 2 command points to go on the counteroffensive and did no damage with this assault squad. So that was just a waste of command points, and I am seriously questioning with my Marines whether or not that's even worth it. That particular stratagem. I think I'm beginning to believe that spending my command points, saving them for things like flak missiles, which I forgot to use even though I had 4 missile launchers and Mortarion on the board, if you can believe it. but I did. I just totally spaced on it. Um, or using the Hellfire rounds with a heavy bolter. I think those sorts of things might be better and more effective uses. Um, I will admit, if I ran, since I'm playing Salamanders, if I ran more units with combi flamers, so if I was to take a unit of, say, Death Guard, not Death Guard, sorry, Stern Guard, or a veteran unit with combi weapons that all had combi flamers on them, that might be a really amazing stratagem for obvious reasons. So maybe those sorts of things are what I should focus on instead of this basic stratagem that I've used a couple of times to no effect. So at least with my Marines, that's what I'm thinking. So on the whole, again, not a great turn for the Death Guard. He wasn't able to achieve any objectives, so he discarded Domination. And to make matters worse, I was able to achieve the Defend Objective 3 because this is now the second turn I've held it. So I gained 2 victory points for that, and it's now 5 points for the Doomhammers and 0 for the Death Guard. So we move on to Doomhammer's turn 3. And this is a summary of the way things stand going into turn 3. I'm down to 2 command points, and again, I'm really kicking myself for having spent those 2 because the way I'm looking at it, his luck on these cards has got to turn at some point. Yeah, I'm in the lead, and I'm hoping to take down Mortarion, but before I draw my objectives, I'm sort of going, oh man, that was such a waste. I really shouldn't have done that. And then I draw my new objectives, and I'm like, okay, clearly the cards love me. Because I draw Defend Objective 1, which I'm not probably going to get. That's the one that's back in his deep in his deployment, where he's got the Death Guard fighting my Assault Squad with a Chaos Lord, and he's probably going to win that fight in the long run. But I draw Overwhelming Firepower, which is the one where you've got to kill something in the shooting phase. Okay, great. And I draw Kingslayer to boot, and Mortarion is his Warlord. So, wow. Thank you. This is awesome. I decided to pull these guys out of combat and try to use their shooting abilities to kill his Chaos Lord and maybe get some parity here. So I'm just going to overcharge the plasma pistol, throw a crack grenade, and shoot some bolters and a flamer and hope that's enough. But admittedly, he's got a 2-up armor save, so 2-up armor, 4-up invul, not good for me. But we're going to try it. And I decided to basically do the same thing over here because now I'm outnumbered, and he's got he's got basically as good close combat weapons as I do overall with the plague knives and whatnot. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm probably better off dropping back and shooting and trying to maybe kill the Lord, and I probably should have actually gone after the Death Guard themselves, not the Lord, but I went after the Lord. Obviously, these guys are going to take down Mortarion if they can do so. And these guys move up, and they're basically, so the scouts I think are going to shoot at the Chaos Lord, and that's why I was leaning towards trying to kill him, because I had this 5-man scout squad, and they've been lights out so far this game. So I figured, keep rolling it, keep going with it. And the other guys are going to move up and use their plasma. They're within overcharged plasma range of the Death Guard, so that's what they're going to do. And these guys shoot at the Chaos Lord and do no damage. I did hit and wound with the overcharged plasma pistol, but he made his 4-up invul, and then the rest just bounced off his armor. And again over here, these guys, flamer, crack grenade, bolt pistol didn't do any damage to the Lord, so okay. And it took the entire tower, everything I had in that tower, but I finally killed Mortarion with a laser cannon at the last. So, whew. And I was beginning to worry that he was going to live. I got him to 2 wounds with a bolter. From 3 wounds to 2 with a bolter. He made saves left and right off of all the missiles and everything else. Whew. And finally a laser cannon got him. The Tactical Marines were able to kill 1 of the Death Guard, and the Scout Snipers were able to do 3 wounds to the Chaos Lord. If those Assault Marines had done just 1 wound, but the Scouts, man, whew, loving Scouts. So we go to scoring round. There wasn't obviously No assaults, no combat to speak of. So we go to scoring round. I get overwhelming firepower and Kingslayer, and I rolled a 2 for the Kingslayer D3. Used a command point, rerolled it into a 5, so I got the +3 there. Plus I got Slay the Warlord, so I effectively doubled my point total from 5 to 10 with killing that one model, which was massive. And at that point, my opponent basically said, okay, I'm going to draw my objectives and see what I got. He drew them. They were garbage for him. I forget which one he discarded last round, but he basically had Psychological Warfare and 2 others that he just looked at and was like, I'm not going to be able to get these. They're just nothing, like nothing is going well for him. I think the ones he drew had to deal with objective 4 maybe, which he couldn't get to because it was up high. And his tank couldn't get there. It couldn't get within 3 inches of the center of the objective from where it was. So he was basically saying, I can't get there. I can't do it. And you can see what he had left. One of his Chaos Lords was probably going to not last long against my scouts. The Death Guard were in pretty good shape. Odds are he hangs on to objective 1, but that's not guaranteed. That squad over there was a little bit better equipped than the 3-man squad. He was probably going to kill them. But yes, I have just too much left, and it would be tough to hunt down and kill his guys with my squads in the tower, but I could do it. They could start moving out maybe if they needed to, and yeah, I'd be taking -1 to hit penalties for moving with heavy weapons and shooting, but odds are if he didn't hide the tanks incredibly well, they were going to get killed. And then it was possible that I could move some stuff out. Like I could move a laser cannon squad out to shoot at a tank, and if the tank came forward to try to kill that guy in the squad he was with, then he'd expose himself to the rest of my shooting. But if he just let me shoot at him with the laser cannon, then if it was enough shots, it's probably going to kill him. So he was sort of in a tough position, and being so far behind, odds were not good he was going to make up the difference. So I don't blame my opponent on this one for packing it in. Plus the game, we got a late start on this one. The game kind of ran long. We were having a lot of fun chatting and joking and whatnot with each other as per usual. His incredibly bad card draw and dice rolls and my incredibly good luck in this one was all he could do was he could just smile and laugh and have a good time, and I hope that's what happened. He seemed to be enjoying himself. And I gave him a hard time after the game about him being 41 points over the 1,500 point limit, and that obviously because of that, the dice gods, the old ones, whoever it is you want to cite, decided to punish him for having more points, and I being a quote unquote cheater, I obviously didn't. I told him it was okay. I told him it was fine. Take it. I didn't care. But whoever it is, they know when you're not playing fair. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the quick report here, relatively quick report, at least for me and for Maelstrom mission. I hope the format helps. I'm gonna try to do more like this and try to keep better track of things like command points and when they're used and how they're used. Again, I'm not perfect on that yet. Still working on the system. Practice is gonna improve that, obviously, and hope that helps. Hope it works for you all and you get something out of it. My big takeaway from this one, scout snipers. Oh my goodness. I mean, I thought they were good before. I really did. I thought they were good in this new edition, and I've used them plenty already. The few times I've used them and had them die right away, it has been hard to judge them, but obviously in this game, they earn their points and then some. So loving the scouts, and I really admit I haven't played infantry, pure infantry style Marines probably since 4th edition. 4th edition was when tanks and transports in particular just got a brutal beat down by the game designers. They were really, really hard to use. After the Rhino Rush of 3rd edition, in 4th edition the pendulum swung really hard back against transports, and So it was not uncommon to not see any transports. You saw a lot of bikes, you saw a lot of infantry units, you saw a lot of things like that. But you did not see, you saw a lot of big monsters, a lot of jump packs and things of that sort. But you did not see many transports in 4th edition. And I think 5th edition is better for transports than 4th edition. But there's a lot of similarities I'm seeing. Um, and so I'm not opposed to transports, but the few times I've tried to use them, it has not gone well. I actually had a really nasty experience. I tried to run double land raiders and had a game where basically all my guys in the land raiders, I didn't get them out in time. I got charged, and basically both of my land raiders got surrounded by my opponent's like entire army, and everything in the land raiders couldn't get out. And those were all my assault troops, all my offensive units. I just had to scoop at that point. I just had to concede because he surrounded my tanks. I couldn't move the tanks away. They were just going to sit there and then die, and he was going to kill everything inside in the process. So I had to at that point look at my opponent and say, "Yeah, you got me, man. You that was really dumb on my part, really great on your part, and yeah, I got to learn how to relearn how to use transports." So I've been really enjoying the all infantry though. It's been working really well. I haven't made any kind of, I think, incredibly dumb mistakes with infantry, and I have so far been impressed, I think, with how relatively fast infantry are, whether they've got jump packs or jet packs or not. The general speed in terms of your ability to run with units and still shoot to some extent, especially if you have assault weapons, or in when you get into assault, the ability to move, you get your assault distance, and then the additional um, pile-in moves and so on and so forth have really increased, I think, the relative speed of units. It's not a certainty, it's not a guarantee, but ultimately it makes the all infantry a lot more playable than it maybe has been in past games or past versions. So, on the whole, liking it still. Hope you guys have been liking the reports. Hope this has been enlightening in some way, and the brief insights here at the offered at the end offer something of value to you. And if not, well, I will try to do better next time. Hope to see you back here for more on the channel.